The oldest parentified daughter believes her role is to fix everything and everyone around her. She keeps her depression a secret and fantasizes about meeting the one person who will finally see her for who she is, not how she can perform for them. The parentified daughter listened to marital problems, walked on eggshells, and did her best to manage everyone else's anxiety. No one noticed her own anxiety. She spent most of her time in her room, fantasizing about the perfect families on TV. The parentified daughter had to be the responsible and strong one because no one else was. She wants someone to lift her load, to care about what she feels, and to be a shoulder for her to cry on instead of keeping it together. The parentified daughter feels exhausted and burnt out, yet she habitually conceals these emotions. As time passes, she internalizes the belief that her own feelings and needs are insignificant. She finds herself in a state of confusion, having never experienced genuine attunement from others.
The firstborn daughter carries a weight she never asked for. She was the first to be told to set an example, the first to be given responsibilities disguised as maturity. She grew up knowing that mistakes weren't an option, that weakness wasn't allowed. She learned to be dependable before she ever learned to depend on anyone. She carries that into adulthood, silently exhausted, constantly overextending. She works harder, takes on more, because slowing down feels selfish. She doesn't know how to ask for help, because no one ever showed her how. She spent her whole life taking care of others, but deep down she wonders who takes care of her. The firstborn daughter doesn't rest because she was never taught she was allowed to. But here's the truth, she is more than what she provides. She is more than the expectations placed on her. And she deserves to live for herself, not just for the people who needed her to be strong.
The most tired soul in the family. It's not the mother, not the father, not the younger siblings. It's the eldest daughter. She became second mom before she became a teenager. She was taught to put others first, to be mature, responsible, selfless, to carry the emotional weight no one saw. She grew up fast, too fast. While others got to be kids, she was helping raise them. While others cried, she had to stay strong. She became the fixer, the listener, the problem solver. But who checks on her? Who listens to her pain? She's expected to always have it together, to always be okay. But deep down she's exhausted. She sacrifices silently, cries behind closed doors, breaks, but keeps going. Because that's what the eldest daughter does. She doesn't complain, she doesn't quit. But that doesn't mean she's not hurting. Check on her, love on her. Tell her she doesn't always have to be strong. Even superheroes need rest. Drop a 100 if you agree with me, and pass this on to someone who needs it. God bless.
As the eldest, especially the eldest daughter, you're seen as a resource, not a sibling. For whatever the reason, is something about that relationship with mothers and the eldest daughter. It is just such a strenuous relationship a lot of the times. And it is because your mom sees you as a resource. My mom, when I was younger, I was always the resource. Please make sure the kids get that. Please make sure that the kids get this. I'm sleeping, I have to get ready for work. Make sure that they're all quiet so that I can sleep. Hey, I left this food for them on the stove. Make sure that they get it. Make sure that you walk them to school. Make sure that you pick them up from school. Did you pick up such and such? It doesn't just end at your siblings. It's your mother also offering up your services to people who are her friends and family members on the outside. Hey, can you go get sister such and such from the airport? Can you go pick up this for brother so-and-so from church? You're seen as this resource, not a daughter, not a sibling.
You know, my nature is that of handling things, right?
to love. I got my sister. I can feel her now. She may not be here, but she's still mine. I know she still loves me. I got my children. I can hold them now. They may not be here, but they still mine.
I don't even have anybody to run to. The whole family runs to me. I am the source. Now what happens when the source is not there? You guys don't understand.
Abilities are just above me. I don't know how I'm doing it. I don't know how I keep on pushing, but at times it's too much. Like, you can't even do things for yourself because and they are so appreciative. And thank God I have a supportive mother. But I feel like we need to meet like every month. Like, let's form a group. Let's sit down and talk about how we're feeling, because you can't even go to your siblings and tell them how you're feeling. I mean, these people are your responsibilities. And now, how you go bonolo ba bolela ekare o ba filisa ekare ba go emaila. You understand? So you need to talk to someone else. I sometimes tell my friends what's going on, and sometimes I relate that, and sometimes I don't even need them to relate. I just need them to listen. Now, I don't even know what to say. I would just sit and cry and ask God, why me? But then at the same time, I realized God wouldn't put me in this position if he knew I wasn't gonna be able to handle the pressure and the responsibility that comes with the role that he has given me. I just wanted to check, how are we doing? Are we coping? Are you surviving, little mama? Because I'm really surviving, literally surviving. When somebody asks me, are you okay? I'm like, I'm taking every day as it comes. Yeah, it's hard. It's not easy being a firstborn daughter or like the eldest one. But we'll be fine.
To all the firstborn daughters out there, maybe you're the strongest man that I know. You are the strongest man that I know. Hey, you didn't bogo. Yo, baby, we took it for the sharp end.
I am begging the eldest daughters, I am begging the oldest siblings, I am begging the child of immigrants, move out of that house. Move out of your parents' house. For the love of God, move out of your parents' house. Whether it's for college, whether it's after college, whether you stay there for a year post-college and then you're able to get out. There is so much growth to be had when you don't have those people in your ear 24/7. I quite literally don't go by my name. I go by Bree. I don't go by my full name because I heard it so incessantly at home that it literally gave me a response. Like, I would hear my name and jolt. There is so much growth to be had outside of your home. There's so much clarity to be had. Don't get me wrong. I have my own mental issues now that I've moved out of the house. But to have the space and clarity of like not having their expectations, not having them on your ass 24/7 helps so much for your mental growth. Get as far away as you can. You can always come back. I've come back. I'm going to come back for a few months and then I'm moving out of the state again. But if you have that feeling inside of you that you just want that freedom, go take it now, especially while you're young. We'll scream it from the rooftops. If you're the eldest daughter, if you're the eldest sibling, if you're a child of immigrants, move out of that house, please, for the love of God. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. Bye.
I'm the eldest daughter. Of course I co-raise my siblings, but my parents don't recognize it. I'm the eldest daughter. Of course I'm type A perfectionist with a 5 a.m. morning routine. I'm the eldest daughter. Of course I got in trouble for anything my siblings did, because we're a unit, not an individual. I'm the eldest daughter. Of course I'm a chronic people pleaser. Count me in. I'm the eldest daughter. Of course I became a chauffeur to my siblings when I got my license. Who else is gonna drive them? I'm the eldest daughter. Of course I'm the mom in my friend group. Hey, are you okay? I'm the eldest daughter. Of course I carried Mother's Day on my back. Who else was giving mom the perfect gift? I'm the eldest daughter. Of course I'm a family therapist. Who else will they talk to? I'm the eldest daughter. Of course I'm an overachiever who doesn't feel like I'm doing enough.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you have an elder sister and she's bougie and she's a little like, you know, kind of to herself, a little isolated from the family, just know she been through the trenches. Just know she wasn't bougie growing up because she had to go without for so long that she said, nah, when I grow up, never again. I'm never suffering like this again. And then just know like she's isolated because she had to hold down the fort for her whole life, that now she's taking back her peace, okay? So don't come for them eldest daughters, okay? We all in therapy.
If you're an oldest daughter, I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. Just because you're reliable does not mean you always have to be available to be relied upon.
This one's for the eldest daughters. What do you guys think it's like to not constantly be aware of the emotions of every single person around you and make it your responsibility to always make sure that everyone is okay, no matter what energetic, emotional, or mental toll it takes on you? I imagine it's pretty nice.
When you're the we didn't have to worry about you daughter, you might also be the we didn't have to worry about you employee, the we don't have to worry about you friend. You are so strong. You make everything look so easy. I didn't even know that you needed help is something that you might be told. No, just because I'm strong doesn't mean that I don't want people to check in on me. Just because I'm strong doesn't mean that I don't want help. That's what it can come across for other people who don't get it. That's why this community that we're building, you get it. Whether you are the oldest daughter, the middle daughter, the youngest daughter, the only daughter, you get it. If you've never experienced it, you just don't get it, right? So when you have been the we didn't have to worry about you daughter, it can show up in we didn't have to worry about you scenarios as adults, as spouses, as friends. And this is where we can rewrite this story. You can rewrite the story. Absolutely validate the hardships that you experienced, knowing that you have built up so much resilience and strength because of it that other people would envy. And now we can rewrite the story where it no longer has to be considered a curse to be in the role that you were in. Now that you have this resilience and strength, you can change the way that people show up for you around you. You can change the way that you are viewed at work, where you can be viewed as someone who's, yes, capable and strong and makes everything look easy, but also gets recognized. You have your edge. You have that high performance edge that sets you apart and makes you known for something. You have the support around you from your friends and your family. You can heal from being burnt out. That starts with us recognizing that we can change this narrative and we can do it together. And I'm so glad you're here.
Jumping straight in. So my mom calls me this morning and she asked me, are you going anywhere today? And I'm like, well, I'm gonna go to the gym later, but that's about it. And she's like, oh, do you have any ideas of ways to hang pictures for Chloe? My sister's graduating college, so proud of her, and we're having a party for her. And my mom is asking me how to hang photos because she wants to do something where she has my sister's graduation photo and like photos of her when she was younger. Sorry, you know you get frustrated and like your mouth starts getting dry because you're so upset. My lips was getting dry. Anyway, so I'm like, so I jumped back and I'm like, so why'd you ask me if I was going out today? Like, what does that have to do with anything? She was like, oh, because I wanted to ask you to go look for things to hang the photos. I said, you don't even have an idea of what you want to do. I can't just go out aimlessly looking for stuff. I need an idea of what you want, and then I can find things to fit said idea. That's how I operate. I don't know about anybody else, but I need some type of order and structure. So I said, there's like things that you can just like stick the photos in that you put on the centerpiece. I said, but who else is helping? Now, mind you, my mom wants me to make the cake. She wants me to help her set up the tables. She wants me to help her serve the food. She wants me to get the list together for what songs my sister wants to listen to. She wants me to make the game because my sister wants the game like who knows her the best. So I got to make the game, make it, you know, cute on Canva, and then print it out, all these things. And then you want, like, who else is helping? I said, is so-and-so helping? Naming my sister, like other people in this house who also live here. And then she's like, I'll just do it myself. I'll just do it myself. That's not what I'm at. I said, oh my God, you can come to me for everything and want me to have 8 hands and do everything. But when I ask you if you ask anybody else, you wouldn't get upset and be like, oh, fine, I'll do it myself. That's not what I'm asking you to do. Delegate other people. Spread it out. I'm one person. And on top of that, I got my own things I'm trying to do. I have a business to run. I have bills to pay. I got my own shit that I'm trying to get together. And then you're overloading me with this party as if there's not other people in this house that can help. So now I'm going to the gym a little earlier than expected because I need to blow off this steam before I...
So we've already accepted that eldest daughters are the unappreciated backbone of the family, but it really hits different over the holidays. Other day my brother asked me what we got our parents for Christmas. Who is we? Maybe I went solo this year. Maybe I didn't want to have to think about the both of us. Did we think of that? It's already wrapped under the tree and signed from both of us.
Daughter has thought about running away more times as an adult.
I am the eldest daughter and eldest child to Nigerian immigrants. Yes, I've suffered. On top of that, all of my siblings are spaced out. So I have one sibling that's 6 years younger than me, another one that's 11 years younger, and the last one is 14 years younger. So I never really had someone growing up that I could confide in, you know, with the stress or with school. It was almost like they're tagging along or I'm just taking care of them. So it was very isolating. It was extremely isolating. I started watching the first one by the time before I was even 10. I was watching her, like babysitting her. And all throughout school, all throughout high school, I don't remember any summer that I ever had to myself or any after school activity. In fact, I wasn't able to do after school activities because I was always watching my siblings. And part of the condition of me getting a car, the car really wasn't to get me to and fro for school. It was one of my siblings was in school and she didn't have a bus system. So it was always like my life circled around childcare. And if it wasn't childcare, it was taking care of the home. So a summer of me watching my 3 siblings would be me making formula for one, getting breakfast for the other 2, showers and outfits, figuring out activities for them to do all day, cooking and cleaning the whole house while my parents are out, taking them out to the park, bringing them back. If they had an after school activity that was in the neighborhood, or day activity like a camp, I'd walk them there. Before I had a car, I would walk them there in the heat. It was too much for anyone to take on, let alone an adult, and I was doing that as a teenager. College was escapism, and I felt this guilt such a guilt that I was leaving my siblings behind. And I would panic when they would call me about things. And it always is, it's almost like I can't describe it, but anyone that's the eldest daughter knows exactly what I'm talking about. Got back home, I wasn't able to get a job immediately. And I've discussed that before. And it kind of sent me into a depression. And then you compound that with my parents assuming that I'm just going to take on that caregiving role again. And I'm like, I'm a young adult. I need to start living my life. You weren't doing this at my age. Why do I have to do it? At that point, I said, I got to go, because my mind was beginning to run into depressive and dark spaces. And if I didn't take myself out of that situation or break that family dynamic, it would have ruined me. So I implore all of you to look after the first daughters of your family, because many first daughters become bougie aunties, and they become bougie aunties because they were forced to become mothers when they never chose to.
Listen, Queen, oldest daughters weren't raised to rest. They were raised to rescue. So let's talk about it. If you're an older daughter, let's talk about how the weight of being the rescuer is being carried into your relationships and why it's really messing everything up. And the primary reason is because you became the family savior before you were even grown. You learned that being good meant being responsible for everyone else's mess and for everyone else's chaos and for everyone else's feelings. You became the peacemaker in the family. You became the emotional buffer in the family. You became the extra parent. And while you were doing all of that, no one ever even asked you how you were feeling in the midst of carrying all of this big weight. As you were growing up, you realized that your needs were optional, but your help was expected. So no one checked in to see what you needed, as they were expecting you to jump in and give everyone else what they needed, right? You got praised for being strong, but then you got punished for having boundaries. You were fresh, you were disrespectful, you were rude when you were trying to say, hey, this is too much for me. I need more space. I need more time. And so now in your adult relationships with men, love feels like overgiving. You chase peace by performing. You are trying to fix things, and you always feel like you have to be the one who holds it all together. You take on the responsibility for whether the relationship makes it or for whether the relationship ends. And unfortunately, that role has followed you into every space in your life. And in particular, when it comes into your intimate relationship spaces, you choose partners who need saving because you have become so indoctrinated and conditioned to be the savior. So you are silent to avoid conflict. You don't express your emotional needs. You overfunction, you overthink, you overextend, hoping that your partner will truly see you. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen, right? They can't see you because you're hiding behind all of that responsibility. And so what I want to tell you today is that you are not your family's fixer. You are not your partner's parent. And you deserve a love where you get to feel safe, seen, and secure. That's what I want for you. That's what you need to understand and to realize, is that you don't have to be the savior anymore. You can be the soft one. You can be held, you can be seen, you can be safe. But you have to make the decision now that this is going to be your new role. If you need help with this, I would love to talk to you about becoming a Sacred Queen coaching client and working with me as your relationship coach. Tap my name right here or the link in my bio to book a complimentary discovery call.
You are not an angry person. You were just holding back years of resentment. Being the eldest daughter meant you were supposed to help without being asked. You were forced to grow up too fast, and you always had to put others first. Now you feel resentful when people expect too much. You're exhausted from carrying the load, and you feel guilty for saying no. Resentment isn't just anger, it's suppressed needs. You were taught being good means being responsible for everyone. If at any point you were struggling, you were just being too sensitive. Saying no meant letting others down. So you swallowed your feelings. But that doesn't mean they just disappeared. Unaddressed resentment can look like snapping over small things, avoiding texts or calls, feeling drained around family, over-explaining or apologizing while setting a boundary. And worst of all, the guilt keeps you stuck in the same cycle. But the key isn't to suppress your resentment, it's to listen to it. Next time you feel your resentment rising, ask yourself, what need of mine is being ignored? Where did I learn to put myself last? How can I start honoring my boundaries without guilt? You don't have to keep carrying this forever. If you want to break free from your resentment, DM me the word resentment for more details.
We need to check on the millennial eldest daughter, and I'm going to tell you why. These women are otherworldly. And when I say they're otherworldly, I mean these women are amazing, but they are exhausted. And they're exhausted because they are literally on autopilot. I don't know a millennial eldest daughter right now that isn't about to crack under pressure. And hear me, they are aware that they're exhausted. They're aware that they are tired. They are even aware of all the things that they are managing right now. But what they aren't aware of is what it's costing them to do it all. What I know for sure is that stress will take you out of here quick. But the millennial eldest daughter is going through something, and she's going through it silently. She has community, she has friends, but no one knows what she's going through. Because if she could really be honest, that if she would share with her community and friends, a lot of them would come right back with a rebuttal and say, oh, me too. And what would end up happening is that they would end up telling her about their situation, which in turn, she would then turn around and do what she always does. She'll listen, she'll give advice, she may even show up for them. And then she would end up getting to the end of her day and of the conversation and realize, dang, I totally wasn't heard, I totally wasn't listened to, and yet again, my need was not met. Millennial eldest daughters are exhausted. And I'm sure you know them. I'm sure you're friends with them. You might even be in a relationship with one. And I know you see them every day because I'm telling you, they are not looking like what is going on internally. I'm telling you this because I'm sure that a lot of people would say, oh, I talked to them the other day. They were fine. They look fine. Let me explain something to you. The millennial eldest daughter, she is synonymous for being able to look better than what she's going through. She's learned it. She's been indoctrinated by a mother who did the very same thing. So you're not going to be able to just look at her and see that she's not well. You're not going to be able to clock her and say, oh, she didn't look bad when I saw her. As a matter of fact, I spoke to her and she said she was fine. Don't believe the eldest daughter's fine. The fine is loaded. The fine is not fine. As a matter of fact, what the eldest millennial daughter is missing is people around her that are doing their work. What the eldest daughter who is a millennial is missing is people around her that is self-aware. I'm going to go even farther. What the eldest daughter who happens to be a millennial is missing is people around her that are just as resilient and just as tough and strong as her. Because I'm going to tell you, the millennial eldest daughter needs friends and people around her that can hear her voice and show up for her and say, I showed up because your hello didn't sound right. That's what the millennial eldest daughter needs. Not to mention, this woman, this daughter, is managing, oftentimes, having parents that are aging, that are sick, that are not doing well, that are on their own health journey that is failing because, for whatever reason, she has now realized that, oh, my parents weren't healthy. And to be perfectly honest, they weren't healthy for a very long time. So now this is another thing piled on top of already the list of duties that she has that now she has to make room for. But this is the thing. Everything that adds on to her list takes her further down on the list. Listen, not because she don't know she important, not because she don't know that she needs to take care of herself. It's just that everybody seems to think that she's got it and she can do what she do so well. And she's fine and she doesn't need any help. And that's the unfortunate part about society now, because they don't realize that there are a whole group of women who are suffering right now under our watch, and everybody's missing it because they want to see that, oh, you look like you're struggling. But I'm going to tell you, the millennial eldest daughter, she's not going to look like what you think she's look like. But she's not okay. She's not fine. And we have to begin to get out of this mindset that in order for us to know that you're not fine, you have to look like it. Because the reality of it is this young woman has been groomed to be impeccable at everything she does. She understands that life must go on, that I'll deal with it later, that you know what? Another issue is coming around the corner. I don't have time to worry about this. So she understands that she has to look a certain way in order to be able to keep going. But behind closed doors, she is falling apart. But no one knows it because unfortunately, everybody around her is not doing their work. A lot of her friends are not in therapy. As a matter of fact, her friends are calling her after she come out her therapy session and asking her how her session went. And oh, by the way, can you tell me what your therapist said so that she can now tell them so that they can go look at their lives and say, maybe I'll apply what your therapist said to my life and it'll work. So everybody is siphoning off of her growth, off of her resources, off of her willingness to go forward and change the whole paradigm and do something different. And no one's considering all the things that she is going through and that she's dealing with. My hope for the millennial eldest daughter is that she begins to speak up. My hope for the millennial eldest daughter is that she begins to implement boundaries. My hope for the millennial eldest daughter is that she puts her foot down and begins to slowly hold people in her life accountable and make some changes around how people deals with her and take a stand firm on reclaiming her life back, her personhood, her humanity, so that she can continue to live a life of joy and love rather than taking herself to the point of exhaustion and she ends up not feeling good in her body. My hope for the millennial eldest daughter is that she begins to prioritize herself way more than she has prioritized all the other people in her life, and that she does it unapologetically, and most importantly, knows that she's worth it.
Eldest daughters. When it comes to eldest daughters, we often hear so much online about their burdens, the adversity, and the stresses that they endure. But today, I want to talk about the positives of being the eldest. Maybe it will reignite that flame in your gut that I know we all possess. As the eldest, there is nothing like watching the fruits of your labor ripen. And by that, I mean guiding your siblings and your family members and seeing that materialize and knowing that you had something to do with that. Or maybe knowing that had you have not stepped in or guided them or pushed them, it wouldn't have happened. As the eldest, I know that you are one heck of a friend. You are down bad for your girls and your guys. I know that when it comes to our friends, we do not take grievances against them lightly. We immediately become an avenger, a lawyer, a therapist, a fighter, a soldier, whatever it is that they need us to be in that moment, either for them or to others on behalf of them. We're down and we do it well. We often exhibit the kind of behavior that others end up emulating. Often we can go a bit too hard and tend to mother them, but sometimes that could be seen as a benefit. We all know that the husbands of the eldest daughter are arguably the luckiest men on earth and the happiest. Another thing I love about eldest daughters so much is that we really do use the tools of our life experience to move and overcome mountains. We're definitely learners in that sense. We learn from mistakes, we learn from all the adversity that life's thrown at us, and we use it to help ourselves but the others around us too. I love that we're able to recognize our own strengths in other women, and I love the emotional awareness that comes with being the eldest. Eldest daughters have this unwavering compassion. If I'm being honest, I love that we're protectors. I love the protection that an eldest daughter exhibits, and not only that, I think that eldest daughters have this innately unwavering compassion for people and situations, but not always themselves. I like that so many of us have had very overachieving yet very messy career trajectories, love interests, and upholding an unblemished reputation on behalf of your parents, your family, and your community can be draining. But sometimes it could be really, really rewarding to be seen as that pinnacle of light and guidance to those that you know and love, especially when it's needed or when it matters most. I think one of the most uplifting compliments I received from a friend, and I don't think she even meant it as a compliment to be honest, but I took it as one, was when she said, in a crisis, given that we're living abroad, right? She said, in a crisis, or hearing dreadful news or anything kind of just erupting or emerging, she said the first person I would call is Sarah. She said the first person that she would call is me. And in that moment, I was filled with such immense pride, but I was silent for once. I wasn't yapping, I wasn't talking, I was just listening. And then in canon, the other girls agreed with her. Of course, naturally, it means that you've displayed a friendship or a behavior whereby people are so trusting of you and your judgment when everything comes crumbling down. They believe in you to guide them or to help them or to save them or whatever it is. They have that much faith in you that you're the person that they would go to for that, and the feeling, it doesn't compare. It just shows, I guess, that your character is so strong in that sense that it has inadvertently reached others, maybe when you didn't even intend it to. When we talk about the people that we want to be, the business magnates that we aspire to be, the polished mothers and wives that we intend to be one day, why do we leave out the qualities we intend to possess? I don't know about anyone else, but especially when I'm dating someone and it's early days, I definitely ask them what kind of man they want to be. Perhaps they want to work on their composure. Maybe they want to be better at disassembling tough situations or conflict resolution. Maybe they want to be better at that. It's the same thing that applies to us as women, as the eldest. For example, I know that I'm able to calmly diffuse a situation, but am I always operating from a place of tranquility? No. Oftentimes I operate from a place of stress and adrenaline, and in the future I hope that I'm not still running on that. As the eldest, the level of trust and responsibility bestowed upon us can actually open more doors than expected. When I look back on my career, for example, and the one or two lines that I was thrown that did help me sort of excel, I think about my maturity, and I always question, is that down to being the eldest? Maturing early or being ahead of our time can definitely have its downfall, but I'm sure a lot of us have lived through some amazing experiences because of that. There are, of course, so many other factors to it, but I'm just really proud of us. As eldest daughters, I think that we are doing a great job, and I know there are so many positives that come to being us and living life through our lens, and I'm proud of us.